name is Jeff, and this is a gated manual 2004 Ferrari 360 Spider, and it is the car that set the tone in more than one way for modern Ferrari as we know it. If after watching this video you've decided that you must get your hands on a Ferrari 360, well, I have great news. This exact car, as you see here, with just 4,900 original miles, is for sale. It's heading up for auction on Bring a Trailer, where it will be selling with no reserve as offered from Casio Motors. And in this video, I'll walk you through this car and tell you everything that you need to know about the Ferrari 360. The Ferrari 360 was the first production Ferrari constructed entirely in aluminum. That includes the body, suspension, and even chassis, which features a full monocoque developed with Alcoa, which resulted in 40% greater rigidity and 28% weight savings over its predecessor, the F355. The 360 debuted during the Michael Schumacher and Scuderia Ferrari Formula One era and strived to incorporate Formula One-inspired tech like aerodynamics. But it also saw increased use of the F1-inspired automated manual transmission. In fact, around 70 to 75% of all Ferrari 360s produced feature the automatic gearbox, so the gated manual transmission cars like this one are considered rare and now demand a premium as one of the last manual transmission Ferrari models. While the 360 also saw the addition of a small digital display in the gauge cluster and the sport mode switch, the car remains a focused driver's car with minimal distractions and beautiful styling, which Ferrari states was inspired by the 250 LM and Dino. Next, let's take a closer look at the exterior of our Argento Nürburgring Ferrari 360 Spider. As you can see here, it is this beautiful light silver metallic, and it is in fantastic condition. In fact, the entire front of the car, it's kind of hard to see the various outlines and things, has all been PPF'd to further protect the car. On the front here, we have our Ferrari badge, which sits on top of the lid for our frunk, where you'll find additional storage. Over here, we have these beautiful body color headlights, these nice big intakes on the front for the radiator inlets, and this section here in the center helps direct the air underneath the car, where the car has further aerodynamic improvements. Over here on the side, we have these Ferrari 18-inch 5-spoke wheels finished in silver. You can see the Ferrari center cap, the drilled and ventilated brake discs, and these wheels are wrapped in Pirelli P0 tires, which feature a date code from 2022. As we move to the fenders, you can see the optional Ferrari shield here, which looks very nice. As we continue to the center, we have our open top experience. And this actually has a black convertible soft top, which is power raised or lowered in about 20 seconds. Behind that, we have these beautiful roll bars, which are wrapped in leather. And then in there, we actually have these mesh vents, and that's to help reduce wind buffeting. You can see these very nice side inlets here. The door handles are body color matched. As we continue back, more of those 18-inch wheels, 5 spokes with Pirellis. Then in the top here, you have a glass cover to take a look at your Ferrari V8 engine in that beautiful red crinkle coat. As we move further back, we have more Ferrari badging and even a very subtle Nolder, which is this sort of mini rear spoiler that helps to direct more downforce, but doesn't take away from the body lines of the car. Further looking at it, you have these quad tail lights. Over here, you have the Cavallino in the center, and this entire panel here is mesh to help pull out engine heat for improved engine cooling. The exhausts are integrated into the rear bumper on each side, and underneath you'll find a very cool diffuser for improved aerodynamics. Located behind the cabin is a mid-mounted, naturally aspirated dual overhead cam Ferrari 3.6-liter V8, which of course features the iconic Ferrari red crinkle coat on the intake manifold, dual throttle bodies, a dry sump oil system, and you can even see some of the aluminum space frame and even this very cool embossed 360 Spider exhaust. Now, Ferrari says this motor will rev to 8,500 RPM and produces 395 horsepower and 275 pound pound-feet of torque. The interesting part comes to the transmissions. This particular car is equipped with a 6-speed manual transmission, but about 70 to 75% of total Ferrari 360 production were equipped with the F1 automatic transmission. And as enthusiasts seek more interesting driving experiences, these 6-speed manual examples have become rare and highly sought after. Now, in terms of total performance, Ferrari says this car will do 0 to 62 in about 4.5 seconds with a top speed of over 183 miles per hour. And on top of that, it sounds incredible. Next, let's take a closer look at the interior on this Ferrari 360. This interior comes finished in a two-tone, this black and tan leather, and has even been optioned with the Ferrari Daytona seats that feature the embossed cavallino in the headrest and these very cool two-tone inserts which are iconic for the Daytona seats. They also feature side bolstering here and even leg bolstering and are even power adjustable, which is all great for sporty driving. You can even fold them forward and find additional storage space with nets here in the back of the car for everything that you want in the cabin or maybe can't fit in the front. Everything is also in phenomenal condition. If you take a look at the leather, nothing is worn here on this car. Again, just 4,900 original miles, so it's expected that this car looks phenomenal on the inside as well. The door cards here are fairly simple. Note these speakers and pockets. We do have a Ferrari door sill, black carpet, and these very nice metal pedals, which are very cool to see. Now let's go ahead and climb in the car and take a look at the rest of the features and functionality of this Ferrari. Now at first glance, it looks very, very analog, and it is as a driver's car first and foremost. We can go ahead and insert the key though, and once we disable the alarm, hear the beeps, you can go ahead and start up your Ferrari 360. And one of the first things you'll note is the fact that this has a little digital display here. And that is one of the big technological leaps for this car. Obviously, later cars feature larger displays, but that was a big deal for this car at the time. And over here you have the odometer reading 4,961 miles. Now, obviously, being a sports car, the biggest thing in this car for the gauge is actually going to be the tach. So that's center. Then you have your speedo off to the right and all of your various engine management gauges here on the left. To the left, button-wise, we have some of our alarm notifications here. You have your ASR, which is the Ferrari version of the traction control for this car, your heated power mirrors. Then we have the Sport button, which is pretty unique. Later cars would obviously use the Manettino, and Sport would be the base mode. But in this instance, the Sport button actually quickens up a little bit of the shifts for the F1 cars, and this one, as a gated manual car, it's going to be a little bit different and focus more so on the handling aspects for the car. Over here on the side, we have some more vents. Of course, you'll know you have air conditioning, 360 Spider badging, glove box, and even the Ferrari F1 World Champion controls. Over here in the center here, you'll find the infotainment along with your power window switches and all of your various climate control adjustments, including a stop button, which was also a new feature for the Ferrari at the time. Here in the middle here, we have the most important aspect of the car that makes this thing very desirable. The 6-speed manual transmission. Only about 25% of total Ferrari 360 production featured a manual transmission, and that is a very variable, desirable piece to have. Below that, we have the controls for our power mirrors, hazards, parking lights. Below here, we also have the cigarette control in your ashtray. Then we have our physical parking brake and some more controls here, which includes the front release, your gas tank, and even the convertible controls, and is hidden away for a very nice seamless appearance on this car while driving in normal conditions. So it's a fairly simple interior that does feature some technological advancements. That's all about driving at the end of the day, and because of the simplicity of this interior, it has a very timeless aspect around it that makes for great driving as well, not to mention watching the tach climb in this car. So what's it like to drive the Ferrari 360 Spider? Well, really, it all starts with the gated manual transmission and the sound. The sound is incredible in this car, and the sound doesn't apply to just the engine. I mean, when you put the car into gear, you hear the clinks and clanks of everything as it goes together, and it sounds so good. And you can take this car all the way up to 8,500 RPM if you wanted to. Or you could just drive it casually. It's up to you. Ultimately, it makes for an experience where you're in control as the driver, and you get all of the pleasantries that come with driving a Ferrari, which is what I think we all really want at the end of the day. The fact that the tack is right in front of you as a driver's car is the first thing you're looking at first and foremost. You can watch it rev all the way up to 8,500 RPM. And this particular car with its low mileage, everything just works as it should. The seats are comfortable. The sounds are all correct. Oh, yeah. And she drives just like a brand new car. But you get an experience that you won't find in any brand new cars. Ferrari doesn't sell any gated manual transmission cars anymore. So if you want this experience, this is one of your only options. The steering is great, feels precise. The car feels incredibly agile. You just point it and it goes, and you can feel it. There's almost no body roll in the car too. Obviously, as a sports car, that's something you expect, and everything just goes up to 11, of course, when you put the car in sport. But honestly, I don't even think you need it. This car offers so much in its regular driving modes that it's so much fun in its own right. You don't even need the extra, let's say, sport mode. It's a great car to drive. So there you have it. That is a quick look at the Ferrari 360, a car that was a massive technological leap for Ferrari and set the tone in more than one way for modern Ferrari as we know it. In fact, the other thing that's really cool about these cars is they're one of the last Ferraris to be offered with a gated manual transmission from the factory. In fact, about 3/4 of production were equipped with an automatic, so this one, as a gated manual car, is also a rare car and of course has a better driving experience. Now, this car is also for sale, as seen here, with just 4,900 original miles. This car is heading up for auction on Bring a Trailer, where it will be selling with no reserve as offered from Casio Motors. With that, that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed it and could leave me a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. Consider getting subscribed for more content like this in the future. Let me know what you think down below. And of course, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.